we're not fully connected in this half guard yet. So probably one of the first that I want to go for, because the bottom guy, he's almost always going to try and prioritize the shoot here on the underhook. Like that's almost always going to be his thing. But before he even starts to initiate that, if I have an opportunity, when he catches this half guard, if I can, I want to go right into a crossface here. And when I do that, I'm not just going to be cross-facing around his head and neck. I'm also going to be looking to sit out on my hip when I do that. So once I put my weight on the side of that hip, I'm going to keep this kind of nice and tight here. If I can poke my shoulder to make him look away a little bit, that helps a bit. But then from here, I'm going to keep my base stable. He might look to reach in here, but that's going to be, a bit of a hand fight here. I should have an advantage given my angle. And then from here, I'm going to be taking this foot that he's got trapped. I'm going to walk it up with my toes until it's kind of up, making his lockdown here kind of suspend up in the air as much as I can. The higher I get this, the easier it is. And then once I kind of have this all primed and I'm still feeling pretty stable, this arm's going to come in here and just strip that down. That's going to be how we look to approach it. So if I can wiggle this loose completely, then I can back step out of here. Typically not, typically he's going to be keeping that, even though it's only at a quarter now, and I'm going to have to come in at this point and enter it as like a quarter, what do you call it, quarter mount? Three-quarter mount, yeah. And that's
into a ninja roll?
Right. That's the position we'll be looking to pass in. So you don't necessarily need an underhook here, but at this point you can start to pass diagonally here.
Helps you take the back.
Right. You start threatening from a back take here. For the most part, your hook that he's got trapped ceases to matter as much. And then otherwise, once you start executing offense up here, then you'll end up passing through. If you really need to free this out, I find that actually swimming to the side, like looking for a side control, and kicking it out this way allows you to boom. Okay, mounted. Watch out for his underhook.
Spread the legs out.
Right, so right there, right here, stop. So this leg is gonna come on top. Yeah, you're gonna try to get this shin on inside his hip there. Yes.
Oh, and I'll pull back.
Yes. You see how that felt? Yeah.
But drive that chest down into me while you're doing it to keep me pinned.
Right. Because he's gonna try to wiggle his hips.
Yeah, I'm gonna start trying to shrimp my way up, holding on to that quarter shield to find my jaws alive to hit my underhook.
Pop this off in a quarter mount. Came up here, but when I tried this, he's not really letting me get in, or he's kind of making me pay for it when I try, so it doesn't feel like that's a good option for me. So here, I find that it kind of helps to get the underhook on the near side too for this, like most the shin passes, or like shin slide. Oh, I can't think of that term right now. Knee slide passes. Like all knee slide passes, it's good to have an underhook on the other side. But from here, I'm just gonna this is already somewhat loose. He's got it clamped down somewhat here. I'm going to take this knee from the far side and I'm just going to surf it through. And you already have that kind of queso feeling, so you want to kind of surf this through here. And this is going to feel a little caught at first, but you're just going to stay heavy on his body, make sure you've got that underhook with authority, and then this leg that's free, you should be able to push it against his knee and just kick that leg out.
Go straight in the case.
And go straight in, in your case, just go straight in your case. So once I'm here, once I can kind of feel the meat of the thigh between my two knees, I know that I'm about close. I'm going to get this to a max point of tension, and I'm going to take the outside knee and just kind of press a little bit, and then push the other knee through here. And it's going to be a very similar dynamic then to your, to your queso entry, to your knee cut pass. So it's kind of just another way to get to the knee cut, but it's shutting down a little more of the offense that he'd be getting into.
Possibly he starts pushing on my
and Jamie finishing up, so it really didn't start until she was getting on the stage.
Did I hit it?
That looks better complete.
By the time she finished up, I had 0 glycogen left. Yeah.
What's holding me up right now? Go back then, as part of circus acts. But that one was it was a leftover he would do. You roll into it here, come all the way to standing, and then when you go back, you're popping into a handstand to come back. You just rep that out. Ba 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 ba.
I used to try and
No, go ahead. Yeah, don't start.
know I'll be in half guard in the tournament.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
A lot of time is spent in tournaments in half guard for sure. Some guys, they get there and they hold on to the
You
gear.
know,
Right
the
here.
space to like cut the shoulder.
You can, if it helps you put the pressure here. I wouldn't emphasize it necessarily too much. You just want to make sure you're.
Because I don't want
This
somebody
is all
just, I
stable.
don't want somebody just roll me over. Like,
Right. Well, it feels like they could do that, but if they do that, they don't have to let their half guard go. And as soon as you feel me let go, just backstep. Or that. I mean, they might try to recatch it if you put it back in and out like that. But if I'm like, oh, I'm gonna bridge into you, I'm gonna have to let this go. Like this is gonna have to drop to the floor, and then just backstep. Just as soon as this is gone, just throw that backstep all the way back. Boom. And then it's not a non-issue. So here.
I'll get a big one. December 7th, I already registered. December 7th, something though.
That's not that far away. That's the stubborn breaker, yeah. What is it?
I know people keep getting on me saying I'm not putting my weight on people. I'm being too nice.
Is it? Do you feel like that?
Kind of.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I'm not doing that or
Yeah. I mean, there's a continuum, because if you put your weight all the way down, you're not immobile. So it kind of depends on your game too. Like you might want to leave them a little space or a little weight, a little less weight to get out, because you want them to go into something, you know, that you want to catch them in. He's got a nice ball.
right there.
Yeah. A little too stubborn for that at this point. Now you know the space. Just drop it through. Have faith in it. Oh yeah, that's it.
You gotta be dirty.
That sucks for me. I mean,
Is
it's a compliance move, you know. Wedging it through. It's not exactly pinching anything or like hitting. That's it. That's it. That's it. Yeah, I've almost nothing there. That was it. We're here. Bop, bop, bop. Whatever happened here, I went ahead and threw this in. And then when I dip back here, so this arm, instead of staying kind of like this way where I can still isolate the head nice, you kind of pinch that shoulder up so I don't really have your head as well. You kind of feel more defensive that way. So in this case, I'm gonna stay in this position I've got, and I'm gonna push my back into that arm as much as I can, which I can just force too, even if you don't have it there already, I can just force this move. So I'm gonna push this arm back into your shoulder into your own neck until I can marry my hands.
Feels like a north-south.
It's just a lot like it. And then you can't see the movement here, but I'm gonna get on both feet basically and bridge my hips up like one of those crab walk positions. So I'm here and I bridge up. Yeah. So it probably feels a little cranky, but it's here. You're pushing your back far enough to get the hands together, and then both feet come up here, and you can just bridge into it with that 500-pound squat. And just So that's a little variant. If you can maybe even go right for that one instead of the guillotine, it's a little more straightforward.
I'm planning on see, I don't think it's like once I get on mount, I'm pretty good at the Americana. I'm pretty good at like just going to Casa. Like now I have a bunch of things I can do from mount. I can go north south guillotine. I can Americana, Casa. I don't ever do the Ezekiel. I don't know why. I don't do the Ezekiel.
It's a weird one for Nogi. It feels weird, and if you don't have like long arms too, it can be weird.
Or I
Hard to hit.
could just step over his head and get a Kimura right there.
Yeah.
Like, so
Much
I'm
more
kind
comfortable.
of gotten that, but the thing is, for some reason, like I always get to mount, and then sometimes they say, well, because I kind of just sit there for a little bit, thinking, and they're like, oh, you gotta work.
Right.
I'm just like, man, you're getting tired.
You gotta work. What? There's Nogi is like that because there's so many fewer handles to enter offense in Nogi, and then since they're mounted, they already know like I'm pretty screwed. I'm just gonna stay super defensive. So they're not giving you anything usually. Like even worse than back, I think, is like they don't feel as smothered and stuff. So they stay in that shell usually, and it's hard to get anything going. I noticed you use can opener and guard. There's a version of that for mount, and if they don't tap from it, it's one of those things like a can opener where they have to kind of open up and do something. So when they tell you, oh, you gotta work this, and then they're gonna need to work to breathe. So you're here mount rate, and so I get my nice stable mount. I'm kind of staying here right. So right from here, I can go right through your head, but I'm not actually going for an Ezekiel. This one kind of helps too if I bring my knees a little bit high. I don't know why, I think because you need more leverage on the back. So I'm here, but from here it's literally just going to be like a rear naked grip here, and I'm going to kind of squeeze it right into my chest.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's very straightforward.
Work this.
Yeah, it's very straightforward. Here, there, hand fighting,
Man,
hand
that
fighting.
feels like a pressure, because you're right on the dongle, and then like you're cranking it up, so it's like
Yeah, exactly.
you're
Like,
folding me.
if I'm back here, it kind of sucks, but it's not the same. Like if I'm here and I get nice and high on it, and then I scoop the shit, and now like I just kind of make sure my crook of my elbow kind of finds the back of the neck here. I kind of want it like right there, and then as long as I get a good rear naked squeeze.
Can I get that in a tournament?
Yeah,
And it'll be legal?
yeah.
Oh, it's over. It's over. Dude, I'm always in mount, like, and yeah, I kind of do that, but I don't ever come up with my legs. I kind of I'm low when I do it.
Yeah.
But you're saying walk up,
Right.
and have like
Almost
I
those
almost-
armpits, you might not be flexible enough in the torso to get all the way to his armpits and then hit this.
right under the neck, and then
Yeah.
kind of like I'm doing a rear naked choke. And
Yeah.
just-
Like this part you want kind of right on that, like right where his vertebrae would be. That's kind of where you want to line it up, like center it,
and just fold them up.
and then yeah, just let's just leave with the rear naked grip. You just squeeze right here, squeeze it into your chest, and then then the space is right here, so there's also a smother. So he has to do something. If he's tough and stubborn enough to go through that, like they'll bridge hard and they'll get their arm in real fast, but they're doing something if they're not tapping. So yeah, only recently. Okay. Going here.
Coming up.
Yeah, that high on the mount first.
Is that higher?
So I would keep active coasts as you're getting the mount high, just so you're not committed. Yeah, like that.
This?
And yeah. And then now here, now wait for me to kind of commit to something, whatever, where my hands aren't readily here to stop you, and then just drop down and scoop it.
Is the weight good on your?
Try to get that a little higher. If you can.
To the armpit?
Yeah, if you can. If you can still reach my neck from the armpits, then do so. Then, if you have to drop back a little bit, drop back only as much as you need to.
Right here, and then what?
So this you actually want to squeeze. So like I said, you might be a little too high. So you want this kind of closer to the base of my neck, and then here's your crook your elbow. You want this. My vertebrae is over here. So you want the crook of the elbow where my vertebrae, right there.
Oh, okay.
Right there. So there, and then get your rear naked squeeze. Kind of bring this to the front as much as you have to. Just still squeeze it good. Kind of squeeze your crook. There, you kind of feel that pinch on the back of my neck there. That's what you want. That's what's actually squeezing like the nerve. and muscle.
make sure your head is.
Right. It's this. It's like right. This part of your neck. I'm going right for that. So it's like.
Oh, so it's like closing it.
Yes, like a crab cracking, like a crab claw cracking away. Something. Not cracking. Yeah.
Do I like close my legs like this and just?
If it makes you feel more stable, not necessarily for the mechanics of the show, but if he's being squirrely. I'm gonna have to do something. Like,